Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome back to episode number 3 of MyGM Mode here on WWE 2k22. We have taken control of SmackDown, and last episode we booked our very first show, which was headlined by a Hell in a Cell match between Roman Reigns and Kofi Kingston for the Universal Championship, and Kofi Kingston pulled off the humongous upset and beat Roman Reigns and crowned ourselves a new Universal Champion. Now, despite that, Raw apparently did beat us in terms of ratings and fan support. It seems like the fans liked their headlining matchup, which was John Cena versus Akira Tozawa for the WWE Championship. Won't say much about that, but we are currently in second, so we need to put on a little bit better of a show this week in terms if we want to beat Raw. So we're going to go into show number 2 this week. So if you're excited for this one, make sure you drop a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more franchise content. I love the support I've been getting for the WWE series, and I've had a fun time making these episodes, so I hope you guys have been enjoying them. Now, we're going to go into week 2 as we get closer and closer to our first pay-per-view, WrestleMania Backlash. And speaking of Kofi Kingston's win, we saw at the end of last episode, we did get a journal entry where Roman Reigns wants his rematch, and we are going to give him his rematch, and that'll be at the pay-per-view. That'll be our headline matchup, as it'll be Kofi Kingston versus Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship. Now, this week we also have a commissioner goal. Triple H wants us to schedule a run-in on one of your champions. Now, I did put the champion on Kofi Kingston, which is the run-in is going to happen. I have Roman going to attack Kofi, which you'll see in a minute. So in order to do that, Kofi, who just went through a brutal Hell in the Cell match, is a little bit low on stamina. So before I show you the card, I did decide to purchase the Spa Power card, which you can't really see off to the side. Spa Power card means that the person in the match has a less likely chance of being injured. So I really didn't want Kofi to get injured in the run-in, so I did purchase that. Also made some upgrades to the show. We are not going to be in a gym anymore. We're going to be in a concert hall instead. So we're increasing in the world. Also spent $10K on extra lights, effects, and pyro. So we'll see if that comes into play this week, because our budget is up to $115,000. Now on to this week's show. Here's what it looks like. We're going to have 3 matches like usual. First match on the card will be Chad Gable versus Montez Ford. Last week we had Ford cut a promo. It dropped his popularity a little bit, but I still have faith in Montez being a single star for us. That's why he's going to be going up against Chad Gable in the opening contest. Then I'm going to have Big E cut a charity promo. He's got good mic skills, and I want to get Big E featured on the show as well, so he'll be cutting a little promo to start. Our second match is going to be Natalya versus Sasha Banks, and this is a number 1 contenders match. The winner of this matchup will face Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania Backlash, so a big matchup between those 2 women. Speaking of Charlotte, she's going to cut a self-promo on herself. She beat Toni Storm last week, so she'll be talking about that. And in the main event, it'll be Finn Balor facing the new champion, Kofi Kingston, one-on-one. And we do have Reigns to set up and run in on Kofi Kingston on that match. So without further ado, let's kick the show off. Alright, so the first match, Chad Gable versus Montez Ford. Let's go ahead and spectate that one and see what happens between these 2 superstars. In Oklahoma City, Oklahoma this week, here we are in the concert hall, so a little bit of an upgrade. Still no big board, still no music, but Chad Gable will be taking his way to the ring. Hopefully the gameplay audio has been fixed this week. I'm sorry, I think I accidentally cut the cord too early last week, and it didn't finish downloading the game audio, so hopefully that's been fixed for this week. But Chad Gable makes his way to the ring in a singles competition to start the show. And he'll be going up against this man, Montez Ford of the Street Profits. No Angelo Dawkins this week. It's going to be Montez Ford going one-on-one, giving him a chance to shine as a singles star. Montez Ford, super charismatic, one of the most charismatic superstars you'll see on the locker room as he makes his way to the ring. A little bit more of a lively crowd this week as well. It's Montez Ford. Very much into him, it seems like. Ford is also a tag team specialist, multi-time tag team champion with his buddy, like I mentioned earlier, Angelo Dawkins, but a chance to shine this week. So the first match of the evening, getting ready to start off, Chad Gable versus Montez Ford. We ring the bell, and we're underway here, week 2 of MyGM Mode, as Montez Ford's going to come out of the gate swinging, and he's going to lift and drive a knee right into the gut of Chad Gable. Already climbing to the top rope, Montez, you'll see him do this a lot. Very much of a renowned high flyer, which Chad Gable, on the other hand, is more of a mat specialist, as Montez Ford swung and missed right there. So I wouldn't be surprised. A clash of styles. Montez the air, Gable the ground. Hopefully that helps us in the rating this week, as Montez gets a punch in and decides to taunt Chad Gable. Probably not the best of ideas. So now Montez on the outside, Gable in the ring. Gable won't give chase. Looks like they're going to let Montez come back in the ring and then catch him with the right hand right across the face. Backs up Montez into the turnbuckle. As now Gable up to the second rope, just going to stretch the arm over the top rope. Only has 5 seconds, but you can do a lot of damage if you hold it on for that 5 seconds. Back in the ring we go. Collar and elbow tie up. Montez takes down Gable and works on that left leg, snaps it back. And Montez right back up to the top rope. That's where you not want to be if you're Chad Gable, as Montez will splash down on you. Big time splash and a standing shooting star press. Montez forward. A couple of big maneuvers. It looks to slow down the pace. Montez, like I've said a couple of times, want him to be a single star. I really do think we can build him up. I do wish we had secondary titles in MyGM Mode, because I think Montez would be a very good Intercontinental United States champion. But maybe we can get Montez up to world title contender, as Chad Gable hits a nice missile drop kick that knocks Montez to the mat. Fisherman pick up by Gable. Nice. Lands him high across the shoulders. First cover of the evening as the ref is slow into position. And Gable only gets a 1 count. Gable's had control of this one. The former Olympian. Keep that in mind. He'll let you know about it too, as well as his 4.0 GPA. That's not going to help his GPA, as he just gets spiked on the top of his head with a DDT. And now Montez forward right back to the offense. I think he thought about the turnbuckle. He's just going to... No, he thought about that turnbuckle as well. Instead, he's just going to go to the apron, try to springboard, but misses Gable completely. And now Gable looks to ground Montez. Working away on that left arm. We know Gable has an ankle lock. Not much of an arm specialist in terms of submission, but he will get you with his legs. Now he starts to go to the legs of Montez. Picks him up. Nope. Ford slides out the back door. He gets Gable up now and drives him with a back suplex. Nice move by Montez, but Gable right back up to his feet and counters with a kick to the midsection. And now Montez Ford goes down. Gable goes to the second rope. He misses wildly with a splash. Montez goes to the corner, looking to gain some momentum here. Gable to his feet. He's in position, and Montez hits him with the neck breaker. Puts Gable down on the back. Montez doesn't go for the cover. Instead, he's going to the top rope. Goes for that big frog splash, and he gets it from the heavens. Montez Ford. Is it enough? 1, 2, 3. He does get Gable, and Montez Ford victorious in your opening matchup. Big win for Ford. Got tested in this one, but he did come away victorious, even though Gable did look good in his own right. As there's that picture perfect splash again. Montez Ford gets the big win this week. We'll see how it fares. We got 2 stars. Mediocre. Not disappointing. So we'll take it in our opening match of the evening. So Montez picks up the victory in the first matchup. Next up, we do have Big E cutting his promo. And we go to see that it was a good promo. We did gain 5,000 fans. That's pretty good, considering we were 7,000 fans behind Raw. And that'll take us to the second match of the evening, Natalya versus Sasha Banks, #1 contenders match for the SmackDown Women's Championship. So into the second match of the evening, Natalya makes her way to the ring, former graduate of the Hart Dungeon, a daughter of the late great Jim the Anvil Neidhart. And she has been around for a while. Natalya has tasted gold, but she'd love to do it again. And a win tonight would just get her one step closer to that task. She'll have her hands full tonight, though. She's going up against the boss, the blueprint, the standard, Sasha Banks, a multi-time women's champion. And honestly, one of the stars of this division. Talked last week on Charlotte Flair is the measuring stick. Well, you can't overlook Sasha Banks as well, another member of the Four Horsewomen. As she looks to get back to the mountaintop, she's been there. She's faced Charlotte countless times. We know she can get it done. But she'll have to beat Natalya if she wants to have another shot at Charlotte Flair. Competitors are in the ring. Natalya is in one corner, Sasha Banks in the other. Winner is #1 contender. And the second match of the evening is underway as they meet in the center of the ring. Sasha gets started with a couple of chops to Natalya. Drives her over the top rope. And we'll chop her down and give her a drop kick to the outside. A quick start by Sasha Banks. And now taunts Natalya. Sasha is brash. She will let you know that she is the best in her eyes. Natalya, though, she's not going to take that lightly. She's faced basically all comers in the women's division. You name any woman in the past 10 years, and Natalya has faced them, and she probably has a victory against them. She'd love, though, to notch another win against Charlotte Flair, and above all else, notch another women's championship to her illustrious career. She's got control of the boss in the center of the ring, goes for a couple of chops, a couple of quick strikes to Sasha, and our Russian leg sweep brings the boss down. Natalya now is going to go to the top rope. We don't see this very often, and she's going to drop an elbow. That's about halfway across the ring. Nice hang time by Natalya, and she continues the offense on Sasha. Good strategy by Natalya. Can't let Sasha breathe, but she counters with those double knees. And now Sasha's taking control. A couple of strikes to Natalya. Backs her up. Gets her deeper into the corner. But now Natalya from behind will drive Sasha into the mat ground. Any sort of offense that Banks was creating. Drop kick to the back of the head. Natalya getting a lot of offense in here early. Sasha is having a hard time getting out of the box. Plenty of pressure by Natalya. She drags her to the corner of the ring. Now wants to get Banks on her feet, but Banks is quicker to the punch. She gets the punch in, a couple of more kicks, some punches. Natalya will sidestep, but Sasha continues the offense and now hits her with the Playmaker, made famous by MVP. Adopted that one from his moveset. Sasha gets Natalya back up. Now she's going to hit her with that cross jacket, but Natalya counters. Goes a little low there on Sasha. Backs her up, but Sasha looking to get back in this one. Natalya takes her down from behind, spins around to the top, showing that great mat game. Going to the legs. She's not going to go for the sharpshooter, but you have to think this submission is going to set her up for that sharpshooter. Sasha's got to get out of this in a hurry. Don't want to do any more damage to the legs and let Natalya get to her finisher. Sasha, though, not going to give up. Natalya will break the hold. And Sasha trying to get some more offense in, but another kick to the legs by Natalya. But Sasha uses that leg anyway, drops Natalya. Now she's going to go for a cover. Don't think ref was expecting that, since he's a little out of position. Sasha Banks mentioned above, a multi-time women's champion, headlined WrestleMania in the past, one of only 5 women to do so. She has all the list of accolades to her name, but she wants to add one more, as she also wants Natalya to get back to her feet. Drives her with a meteor off the second turnbuckle, trademark Banks. And now she's back in control. We're going to work away on Natalya, but Natalya is in the ropes. Now Sasha going to go to the top rope, hits her with a frog splash. Late great hero Eddie Guerrero made that one famous. And now she's dragging Natalya, probably going to look for a pin. No, she's going to get her over. Instead, is going to look for that Banks statement. Cross faces in. Natalya in the center of the ring. Will she tap out? Sasha cranking back on the neck. Nowhere for Natalya to go. Sasha just releases the hold. I think she thinks she did enough damage. Won't go for the cover. But now Natalya turns it around and she's going to lock in. The sharpshooter just has to step through, and she does. Sasha is close to the ropes. She could reach out. Instead, she's trying to fight it, trying to fight through the pain. Oh, you can see Natalya's cranking back, and she will let go. Natalya rolls Sasha over, tries to go for the pin. 1, 2, and 3. Natalya gets it. Natalya with a huge victory over Sasha Banks, and Natalya has become the #1 contender to the Women's Championship. Well, I didn't see that one coming. I thought Sasha was dominating the match, but instead Natalya picks up the win. She didn't get the submission. Sasha Banks, I think, just passed out from the pain, and it allowed Natalya to come away victorious. But a huge win, and she has a date in the future with Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania Backlash. Pretty solid match. The fans, though, gave it a 1.5 stars. That's kind of disappointing, I would say so myself. I thought it was a pretty decent match. I thought Sasha was going to win, kind of hoping that Sasha was going to win. But nonetheless, that's why you do the matches. Upsets can happen. So Natalya walks away victorious in that matchup. We saw it get 1.5 stars. Self-promo time now for Charlotte Flair. She cuts a promo. It was okay. Didn't really affect her at all, but so kind of a wasted segment. Main event is Finn Balor versus Kofi Kingston. Now, since there is a run-in setup on Kingston by Roman, you can't watch the match, so we do simulate it. And Finn Balor will win by disqualification, I think, in a mediocre main event. So not the best show overall for us, which is unfortunate. We go over to a Raw side of things. Looks like they're going to have a championship rematch. John Cena versus Akira Tozawa in a tables match for the WWE Championship kicks it off. We simulate that much. And the winner is going to be John Cena. He retains the title for a second straight week. And what was a great matchup. 3.5 stars. Cena and Tozawa just have good chemistry. Self-promo time for Otis. He cuts a pretty good promo of +3, so apparently he can cut a better promo than Charlotte Flair. Who would have thunk it? In the mid-card, it's Rhea Daivari and Kyle O'Reilly versus Joaquin Wilde and Elias. It looks like they have a run-in setup from Alexander Wolf. Simulate this matchup, and it's going to go the way of Elias and Joaquin Wilde in a 1.5 star disappointing affair. Looks like Shayna Baszler is going to recall out Lana. Lana called out Baszler last week on Raw, and it was okay. Rivalry will go up a little bit. In the main event, Becky Lynch defends her Raw Women's Championship against Bayley. Now, it seems like in another tables match, so it seems like the logic, in my opinion, is not fully there. CPU is just going to make title match after title match, which will help the ratings. I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to keep it somewhat realistic. But we simulate this matchup. For the second straight tables match, it looks like the champion will retain. Becky Lynch gets the win. A 4-star amazing match. So it looks like Becky Lynch and Bayley have some chemistry, and the rivalry will go up to a level 2. So we look back at the comparison. It looks like Raw did kind of dominate us this week. I thought we had a pretty decent show put together, but unfortunately, the CPU is just going to go after the title matches, and it's going to help them. I did look at the match report last week, but we'll look at it this week. We started off with our first match where Gable was crushed by Montez Ford. Tonight's match was a showing between superstars and growing fandom. A classic matchup. This match worked out overall for an acceptable experience, enjoyable, but nothing to rave about. It's clear there were some solid booking decisions made for this match with room to grow upon. So I think that's pretty solid. Ford got a +2 pop, and it looks like Gable actually came out ahead with a +3 pop. Second match we saw was the women's #1 contenders match. Natalya did edge Banks. Natalya gets a +3 popularity. Banks improved by 2. The match was alright, but left more to be desired. Some booking decisions worked fine, but were unfortunately set back by other poor choices. I don't really know what there was really to talk about there. And in the main event, the run-in match, Kofi Kingston was swept aside by Finn Balor. As remember, Roman Reigns did interfere in this matchup. This matchup worked out overall for an acceptable experience, enjoyable, but nothing to rave about. It's clear there were some solid booking decisions made for this match with room to grow upon. That's also a big win for Balor. Fortunately, he can't set up triple threat matches, but Balor, you think, has got to be in line for a title shot in the future. Here's a look at our viewership. We got a D in terms of show quality. It's pretty poor. Looks like a lot of them were talking about Finn getting a victory. Looks like there was some Gable tweets as well. It says Montez Ford is a pathetic cheater. Didn't really cheat, but oh well. And we got another power card. You successfully accomplished the commissioner's goal this week. They have rewarded you with the power card for your efforts, contract negotiation +2. So we do get that done, and that's going to help us out, I think, as well. Raw did come away #1 as well. They now have 20,000 fans over us, although we do have more money. So it might be time to make a shakeup next week as we go into Newark, New Jersey. Triple H with a message to us. Just a quick reminder, your fans want to see great matches, but they also want to watch a show with a lot of variety in its fights. So I might need to mix up the kind of matches I am booking. It's going to follow up with saying to maximize your variety bonus, have at least one tag and one solo match, book both male and female stars in your fights, and use superstars representing all 5 fighting classes across the match card. Now, I do think that'll help us. I've yet to book a tag match, so I might need to do that for next week. And that'll bring us to the end of this episode. Next week we have week 3, so we have 2 more shows before the pay-per-view. And I do think we might need an improvement to the roster. We do have some money. I do think we could bring in another star who can help us out. Maybe somebody like, well, we actually can't afford Bianca Belair. Maybe like a Rhea Ripley, somebody in our women's division to help us out. Maybe even like a Xavier Woods or a King and Nakamura. Somebody who can just, you know, spice it up, I think, a little bit might help us. But that's going to do it for episode number 3. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe down below, especially if you want more WWE content. I'm enjoying making this for you guys, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. This is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.